Away we go. Off to the races here with Brennan Roy and Jack Potter. Brennan up at the top of your screen, playing mono red aggro. Jack Potter down below. Is it Cauldron? Looks like we're just getting one quick judge. Just checking sleeves, making sure they're all in good standing, all in good shape, I should say.
And
Let's
we're
go.
off.
Good luck, have fun. Mountain. Hired Claw.
We've seen Brennan do this before. That beautiful start. Hired Claw outputs so much damage so fast.
Yeah. It's so good. You know, every time I see like these little creatures doing 1 point of damage, I'm like, oh, Spectacle's enabled. I know it's a mechanic that hasn't been around in yonks, but it's just so nice.
Well, the lizards in Bloomburrow, they had a lot of spectacle adjacent stuff going on.
Yeah,
Even the
true.
Hired Claw itself, activate only if an opponent lost life this turn.
Yeah. Razorkin Needlehead taken care of there for at least a turn. Fear of Missing Out hits the board and chucks Winter Night Stories into the yard here for Jack Potter. So keeping some damage at bay here, sending away that Needlehead.
Perfect start for both players. I can see they've why they've made it this far. Just have having the right card on all the key turns. So I'll mention that when we saw Jack Potter face off against Jody Keith in the Is It Cauldron mirror, I made a lot of complimentary comments about his deck list being well set up for the mirror, a step ahead of the expected winner's metagame. However, it is not the best version that I've seen in game one against mono red. So no copies of Torch the Tower. Into the Floodmaw is his only 1 mana interactive card, but it's not quite the same. The difference between permanently dealing with that Razorkin Needlehead versus bouncing it back to the hand can be significant. But notably, Brennan did miss his third land drop, so his ability to redeploy his hand is significantly hampered here.
Yeah, and an interesting choice of removal spell and Scorching Shot. 2 mana sorcery, deals 5 damage. It's a good answer for a VV, if the opponent manages to get it down early. A couple spells makes it bigger, gets it out of range of the typical burn spells you'd expect to see. Hired Claw getting in here for 1 point of damage. Steamcore Scholar hit the board here for Jack Potter, getting rid of a Soulstone Sanctuary and one of the Soul Cauldrons.
Every once in a while, we see players make a cheeky block there and say, like, you know what, your Hired Claw can win combat here, but it's going to cost you your turn if you want to do it. But Jack Potter is not electing to make that strategic choice here. Instead, just takes the damage. And Brennan picked up the third land and double spelling here to kind of equalize things, get back on track.
Yeah, absolutely. Razorkin Needlehead before the draw even. So untap, upkeep, die. Keeping that 1 point of damage off the life total. Here we see Quantum Riddler now, drawing a couple extra cards.
Yeah, nice turn. Kind of like the old Shoulder the Apocalypse trick where you would you'd make sure to kill that before you take your draw step. But
no draws.
Jack, he would have loved to have like 2 on-board plays there, say a Braid and then Prophetic Memory or another creature, whatever it might be. But just being able to kill the most potent threat and restock his hand, set up well for next turn, that's plenty strong here, and this game remains close.
Yeah, Brandon is not pumping the brakes at all. He is just full steam ahead as he deploys Screaming Nemesis now. Down to 10 goes Jack. Does the draw wield any removal spells here for this big old board? Marauding Mako, followed up here by another Steamcore Scholar. So, at least he's clogging up the battlefield here a little bit.
Yeah, so this is something that Is It Cauldron is really good at, and a big strength of the deck in this particular matchup is just the ability to put a lot of power and toughness onto the battlefield, create some blockers. The most important card on the battlefield right now, though, is that Screaming Nemesis, because if Jack Potter wants to actually deal with that, he's going to have to do it inside of combat, which means triggering the ability in a big, painful way.
Yeah. There are a couple of other Into the Floodmaws to just try and avoid any damage whatsoever from that pesky 3-drop there. As it stands, a couple of EVs in the yard now just to find a Soul Cauldron.
Yep, and I remember also that Jack discarded Winter Night Stories, so he's pretty well set up with a stocked graveyard if he can find the right cards to pair with it. He also has the Quantum Riddler on Warp, so I mean, at worst, just at face value, he could tap 5 mana and put a giant flyer onto the battlefield. The big question is going to be if he can find a way to work around this Screaming Nemesis.
So definitely wants answers there. Ooh.
Yikes.
Screaming Nemesis? Nemesis? What's the plural here of a nemesis?
I don't know. I didn't study that.
No, me neither. But here they come. They're getting in there. 6 damage coming through, potentially 12, depending on how Jack decides to block. So, no, I lie, 6, irrespective. It'll hurt.
You could just take you could block the Mako on one and double block the other. Take potentially 7 damage, but at least they're gone. And then kind of hope the opponent doesn't have the way to deal those last couple bits of damage.
Burst lightning.
What are the alternatives? I mean, Jack could try to take it and combo off, or otherwise assemble a lethal attack with the Winter Night Stories, the Prophecy Eidetic Memory. He could take some kind of middle ground here where it's like, let's trade with one nemesis and then find an answer to the other. It's dicey any way you look at it.
Yeah. So where's that 3 damage going then, huh? Face?
Face is the place.
Sure is. So Jack's going down to 4 then? Yeah, he's at 4. 1 burst lightning away from being dead here in game 1 of our finals. Whoo-wee. This is a stressful spot to be in for Jack, but, you know, at least he doesn't have to worry about an opposing Soul Cauldron stealing his VVs. He's got that going for him.
Yep, for sure. So, you know, this is kind of the moment where let's see if his deck can pop off. Agatha's Soul Cauldron would be the very best card. He could have here an answer to the Screaming Nemesis would be the second best. Failing that, he has to just put some blockers, you know, some stumbling blocks in front and try to hold on for one more turn. But yeah, Screaming Nemesis is a stressful card, no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's something you just kind of want to, you know, tap, go to sleep, stun, let it just be there, and don't worry about it. But even then, Brennan could Scorching Shot it, for example, and just kill Jack. So he certainly still has ways to get Jack dead here. Let's just see if he has it once the turn passes back. Jack in his second main phase, trying to decide if he wants to get that Winter Night Stories out of the yard. And the answer is yes.
So a little bit of a sign of desperation, probably looking for Soul Cauldron.
Found 2 creatures there. Fear of missing out on a Mako by the look of it. So Thundering Fall. Nope, that's a discard. Mako in the bin. Land for turn. Go. Okay.
Not promising. Even a single removal spell here puts Jack right in the line of fire against a menace creature, the Hired Claw, that can actually grow larger than the Steam Core Scholar.
Yep.
Jack, you know, he could have 2 things. He could have Abrade and Into the Floodmaw. That maybe would make the situation a little more tenable, but very...
Even on attacks, he gets full speed. So the menace creature then has double strike.
Yeah,
that's
so
just lethal.
Yeah, it's a great point. So is it true that Jack just needs to have 2 instant speed plays in order to survive the turn?
Yeah. That's what it's looking like. He can only take, you know, a hit from 1 creature. So extremely dangerous spot here for Jack Potter. Sitting at 4 life. It's not looking too hot, I will say. Yeah.
But I love Brennan taking this time here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to feel like he's close, but you really want to maximize this. The finals of a tournament, $10,000 on the line. It's like, hey, let's pretend Jack Potter has 2 instant speed removal spells here and make the best play I can in the face of the worst case scenario.
Oh, man. Oh, scorching shot your own guy. Come on. That's not the safe play to do. It would be flashy and cool, but yeah, with another Emberheart Challenger on the board to extra attacker, Jack says, hold, please. Can I survive? I believe the answer is no, just based on the attack trigger from the claw.
Right, and so if, 2 removal spells, get rid of the Screaming Nemesis and the Hired Claw, the Emberheart Challenger picked up a Prowess trigger, so that's still 4.
Yeah.
So any 2 of these creatures present lethal.
Yeah. Too many questions being asked here, and not enough answers for Jack Potter, unfortunately, in game 1 here. And again, Brennan, very measured, very calm in this attack.
And he does have 2 instants.
Huh. So a braid. What, kill the... no. You can't do anything about this, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only thing you can do is into the Flood Maw, the Screaming Nemesis, a braid. Well,
the Emberheart Challenger.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a missed trigger somehow in order to survive the turn.
Yeah.
If your opponent just announces everything properly, it's 4 damage anyway. You look at it, so that is going to be game over.
Yeah, he was dead in very many ways there, no matter which way he tried to interact. But played to his outs there, did Jack, and hopefully post-board things get a little better for him here in game number 2 of our finals. Who's going to be our champion? Brennan Roy is 1 game away from that. But let's talk sideboard here, Reed. What is Jack going to bring in besides everything that burns?
Yeah, we're going to talk. Let's talk about that. I just want to take that one last moment to compliment Brennan Roy on a really tightly navigated turn where it's so easy in that spot to just be like, dude, he doesn't have 2 instant speed removal. I'm just going to attack and I want to get the game over with. But he actually took the time he needed to play around that exact configuration of cards and get the win and not give the Is It Cauldron player that one more turn, which can be deadly based on the power level of this deck. So great job by Brennan. Brennan, well-deserved game number 1. Now to your question about the sideboarding. As we have said previously for Brennan's opponents, anything that kills or answers a creature, I think that's coming in. Bounce Off, Fire Magic, Flood Maw, Obliterating Bolt, Torch the Tower. Those 3 Torch the Towers, that's going to be the most meaningful change. And as I said, Jack Potter was not super well equipped to beat mono red in game number 1 due to the lack of cheap removal, but he's got it after sideboarding. So that's going to really help him improve. In terms of Brennan, I think he's pretty well set up in game number 1 against Cauldron without a dramatic overhaul to his deck. But the card you pointed out, which I'm really curious if we're going to see, is Vengeful Possession, because that can be, a way to drop the hammer on a complicated board state on a key turn.
I love stealing things. Every time I see a steal effect in Limited, I'm like, yes, please give. Just using your opponent's cards against them, it's dirty, but it feels real good. So our players consulting their sideboards. Again, no time limit here in our finals. Just want to say thank you wherever you're watching from around the world. Thank you for tuning in and watching with us. And just a reminder, if you would like to sell some of your cards that you're not using at the moment, you want to get some extra cash, build something else, go and check out sellyourgames.starcitygames.com. You get great prices, 30% trade bonus. You can easily upload CSV of all your cards. It's also a handy QR code there, so if you don't like typing, just open your camera, take a picture. Well, click the link. Yeah, do the thing. Click the thing that makes the ding, and then sell your cards and get some great value off of them. It's been a great weekend here. A lot of innovation from the non-Cauldron players. Not to say the Cauldron players haven't been trying out different things, but, we've seen some really sweet deck lists here this weekend. Teamer, Battle Crier combo shenanigans. We've seen Mono Black doing pretty well. The usual suspects putting up a good fight against the Is a Cauldron deck. So overall, barring, aside from the overwhelming presence of VV Cauldron, I think this has been a pretty sweet weekend for Standard.
Yep. The saving grace for me is that the games are good and fun. We have good moments. I think there's valid complaints about the metagame, the diversity of strategies appearing at the top tables. That's fine. We've been there before in various moments and formats in Magic. Mm-hmm. As long as players are having fun, getting to express themselves in terms of deck building and gameplay, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And don't forget, there's plenty of formats in Magic, so if Standard isn't doing it for you at the moment, well, the regional championships are all modern, so go check out some of those decks, see what cards like Quantum Riddler are doing. Quantum Riddler Ephemerate that you were talking about earlier, that's so gross. You just get so many cards, and you get, what, a 4/6 for 2 mana, essentially? Well, 3 if you cost the Ephemerate, but yeah, it's sweet. Let's take a look at these opening hands. 2 Makos into the Flood Maw. Do you have lands in that hand?
He's got an island. He has lands.
Yeah. Okay. Sick. All right, let's go. Let's boogie. Game 2 here. Jack Potter needs to equalize, or Brennan Roy is going to be champion here. Start things off with a Mako, and Burst Lightning says, get out of here, little guy. So that shark goes die-die.
The play-draw dynamic so interesting where, when you're going first, you just want to press that built-in advantage of getting the first turn by playing a hard-hitting 1-drop. In the case of Brennan, it's Hired Claw. In the case of Jack, it's Marauding Mako. When you're on the draw, you can't just mirror your opponent's plays because you're going to be one step behind all game. So instead, finding a way to break serve, it's these 1-mana removal spells, Burst Lightning, Torch the Tower, into the Flood Maw.
Yep. Cheap interaction. The name of the game here is Into the Flood Maw. Takes care of the Razorkin Needlehead, allowing this Marauding Mako to go unchecked for a turn. What does Jack Potter do before combat, if anything? 3 mana. Ooh, yeah, what you got? Steam Core Scholar, maybe? No? You got a VV? Anything that discards pre-combat? Yeah, there we go. Steam Core Scholar hits the board, draws a couple cards, gets to chuck some. If he wants to get max value, chuck 2 cards. Make this Mako into a 3/3. Dunk. 2 lands out of hand here. Mako getting out of Burst Lightning range temporarily. Turn passes back now to Brennan Roy. Finds a 3rd land. Always a good sign for the mono-red players. Got a little burn-up astronaut. Starting our engines. Follow-up play here. Something's going to die, I feel. What are you thinking about it? That's a big think. Yep, 2 mana. A Braid takes care of the Mako. So the growing threat dealt with. A creature on the board. Oh, goody. Prof's Eidetic Memory now going to make this Steam Core Scholar a pretty formidable threat.
Brennan stopped to think about that, which is kind of funny because the Mako is the larger creature, and it's easier to grow even bigger. So, you would think about that as being the more potent threat that you definitely want to answer. However, Vigilance is so strong in this matchup where you want to be attacking your opponent's life total at the same time as, holding up whatever layers of defense you can. So I think Brennan had that brief thought where he was like, you know what? Even a big Marauding Mako, I can manage that because it can only either attack or block in a turn. But if my opponent makes some kind of crazy 6/6 flying Vigilance creature, that's going to be more problematic. But a really effective mix of removal and threats from Brennan. I mean, just great draw, like being able to remove these varying threats while still hitting land drops, presenting a clock. So both players doing really, really well in this game.
That's what we want to see. We want to see players taking part in the game, and we're seeing answers and threats going around the table here. Marauding Mako and Fear of Missing Out now on the board for Jack. Doesn't look like we found land 4. So the turn passes back now. Razorkin Needlehead going to get chipping away. That goes unanswered for a turn from Jack Potter's side.
Wow. Just so many removal.
What?
Oh, my goodness.
Are you kidding me? He's got to be hell-bent now, right? Holy moly. That was like 5 removal spells in a row.
Yeah, I think it was 5 removal spells in a row.
Bloody hell. Yeah, he's hellbent. He doesn't have anything in hand now. All right, Jack. This is your problem. Time to solve. 3 mana, Steam Core Scholar. First thing we're going to do, let's get a big old 4/4 on the board here from Profts.
It's painful. The Razor King Needlehead doing what it's meant to do.
Ding, ding. Chucking 2 lands. He really doesn't want a 4th land drop. Why? Why? Are they both tap lands?
Wow, Screaming Nemesis,
What?
such a good draw off the top here.
Oh my goodness. That is some crazy top deck in here from Brennan.
I mean, he might just have to block the Nemesis.
Yeah.
Unless you have a different plan for it. Because it's that spot where the Scholar would at least beat the Nemesis in combat, which means Brennan has to choose between throwing the damage at face or trading with the Steam Core Scholar. I would have been tempted there, though it's a bad situation either way you look at it.
Yeah, this is not looking hot here for Jack Potter. So he's got a Torch the Tower in hand, and what else is he? 2 torches? He's flicking so fast I can't see what the other card is being. Okay, Torch takes care of the Needlehead before draw. Preserves his life total at 6. That hurts. We need to into the flood more this guy or something, but yeah, we're gonna, oh boy, Obliterating Bolt, that Bastronaut. Now we gotta deal with this Screaming Nemesis here. Whee!
All right.
Oh, down to 3. No burst lightning off the top rope. Good grief.
Yeah, so Jack, if he doesn't have an answer or a smaller creature to put in front of the Screaming Nemesis, he's dead here.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
All right, that's good.
That actually puts him into winning on the board because he can pump the existing Scholar, attack, chump the Nemesis, and then attack again. And if Brennan has drawn 2 mountains, he wins the game.
He did attack, right?
He did.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, should be 4 life for Brennan.
No, come back. Overlay, where'd you go? All right. We've gone into the void. Don't worry, Emberheart Challenger off the top of the library. That's okay. Is it okay? Targeting?
Oh!
Another Emberheart, but no mana to cost it. Oh, he does have it!
Oh my god!
He's got another land.
And we lost the life totals, but Jack Potter's at 3.
Attackers.
He can't let the Screaming Nemesis go unblocked, but if he blocks it with the 2/2, he's going to take an unblocked 2 from Emberheart Challenger.
Yeah, and then just die from the Screaming Nemesis, doing 2 damage to face. That's it! That is it! Brennan Roy picking up the victory here in emphatic fashion with mono red aggro. Congratulations to Brennan, and an excellent fight here. Put